Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 1598. Welcome to a Thursday. What's happening? Went to the card shop yesterday. Boy, was it wild. Looking at my numbers over here. Okay. It was crazy. Simply shocked by the amount of foot traffic on a Wednesday afternoon at the card shop. So I want to talk about that. What else is going on? So that was my day. Cubs win. Now it was dicey going into yesterday because every game now from here on out in the NLDS is an elimination game. So Brewers have the 2-1 lead in the best of 5 series. We're back at Wrigley tonight. The Cubs have to throw. The Cubs have like no options at starting pitcher. They just threw Matthew Boyd on. What the hell day did he pitch? I guess it would have been Saturday. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. That's 5 days. I'm more comfortable with Matthew Boyd today than I was Saturday, right? That was Saturday. Yeah. Right? Yeah, because I was driving home from Anawan. So that was game 1. Game 2 was Monday. Game 3 was Wednesday. Game 4 tonight. Okay. Now I'm. So Matthew Boyd's going. So I guess on 5 days rest, like that's normal. It's not ideal, but there's nobody else you have in your rotation. Jamison Tyone pitched last night. Shota pitched on Monday. And that's basically your starting rotation, those 3 guys, because Cade Horton is not on the roster. You didn't pick up Javier Assad for the although he hasn't pitched much this year anyway. So it's basically Matthew Boyd, Mike Soroka, or Aaron Savale to start. And, if Soroka or Savale, you're basically looking at a bullpen game. So you've got to pitch Matthew Boyd tonight. Now that I do there's no question. He's got to go. So because you play to win the game. If you don't win the game, you don't play again until next year, and that's not what you want. So Matthew Boyd's going tonight. I think Peralta's going on short rest tonight, so that's good. Hopefully we can hit him and move this to a decisive game 5 in Milwaukee on Saturday. So my buddy's got tickets. I initially told him like, yeah, I'm in. If we get to a game 5, I'm there. And then I realized my wife's birthday is next week, and so we're doing birthday dinner on Saturday night. So now, if it was a World Series game, I'd skip the birthday. We can do birthday dinner another night. But it's just the NLDS. And then I'd really be, if the Cubs lost, I'd really be pissed. So there we go. Some good memories. So my wife having an October birthday does provide some fun memories from playoffs past. Yeah, we have to go back a decade almost to the magical 2016 season. I think it was it that season or was it the 2015? I think it was 2015 when we knocked the Cardinals. We were at Ruth Chris, I think. And my father-in-law was actually we were still in that, we were still dating. Were we engaged yet? I don't think so in 2015. So we were still in that, that honeymoon phase. And so I was like being polite, not even pulling my phone out at dinner, but my father-in-law did. Thank you. So he was providing some score updates throughout dinner. That was, and I think that was the Schwarbaum game where he put it on. That had to have been 2015 because he missed all the playoffs with the exception of the World Series in 2016. So 2015 we were at dinner and so I missed it live. I missed the Schwarbaum live. So that was fun. So game 4 tonight, Wrigley Field, Cubs Brewers, go Cubs. What else? I started in, I think I'm gonna have to do something that I don't like doing, and that's just cleaning shit without looking in boxes, because I've just got a fucking mess, and I think it's starting to affect my head, I guess. And it's probably going to affect me physically at some point when I trip and break my leg, because I've got boxes piled up on top of each other and I have to tiptoe around freaking boxes in the shipping room. So I started yesterday. I had a couple hours because I just had some small orders to ship. And I'm like, you know what? I'll just save this for Thursday today. So I got in, and you can't see here, just on the other side of the bobblehead wall is where the door is to the shipping room. And so I start going through, and I'm going through binders, and I'm pulling out cards like, oh, this will be good for, a lot or singles. So I was pulling cards out of the binders, put binders. Actually, there's the binders. Those are going straight to the storage unit. So I've got to get a box or a storage tub and start. I need to just do it. Just do it. Just get shit out of this room, because basically what I'm doing is I'm just moving boxes that don't fit in this place to moving a box that doesn't fit in that place. And I'm just going backwards, basically. So I need to just get this shit out, get it to the storage unit. My problem in my head is, well, I don't want to take stuff to the storage unit that there might be good stuff in, because once it gets to the storage unit, it's basically a free for all. And when people come, they just buy shit. So, obviously I know I don't have to that shouldn't be in there. But when somebody has a stack of cards, I'm not going to go look through their stack of cards. I'm like, yeah, 10 cents a card. So don't want to do that. But usually I can tell, okay, there's nothing in this box. So I did a little bit of that yesterday, and then went to the card shop, which is the topic today, the incredible foot traffic at Bonsai in DeForest. And the plan was, it's like, well, shit, we've got a 4:08 start. I've got a solid 3 hours. And it's like, oh, that's no time. You know how fast time goes when you're digging through dollar boxes? My goodness. All of a sudden it's like 3:15. I'm like, shit, I want to get to this. I still got boxes to look through and blah. I want to go see if they have any slabs and look in the showcases. And didn't get to. I did pick up some baseball slabs, but ended up being, I think, about 3:45. So I missed the first pitch. I think I missed like the entire first inning, maybe. I listened to it in the car. So watched the Cubs game, and then we did eBay Live last night. It was, man, Wednesdays are not good on eBay Live. Wednesdays, man, it's almost, I think I have better luck during the day. Monday through Thursday during the day, I think I have better luck than at night. It's rough. It's rough. And I'm back home with all this new inventory. Like, yes, I've got stuff that people want. And it's selling for $1, $2. It's like, fuck. So I didn't run much of what I bought because it was selling for $1 and $2. It's like, I can't go spend $100 to make $100. It's not how business works. So, a lot of, I'll save it. I'll, throw some carrots. And it's like, I can sell some of this for $1 and $2. And in a lot of it, and I do know, like I was even telling, there was a guy in the shop yesterday that I was, so he asked me, he's like, so what do you do? And so I was telling him, and so he's like, so what do you expect to make? And I'm like, well, it just kind of depends. And I have kind of a rough number of what I want to make on a return on what I buy, what I spend. But it's like, sometimes I don't know, that's the crazy thing. Like, there's been Sunday nights where a Cal Raleigh Bowman base rookie sold for $72. Am I expecting $72? No. Like $10 is which has kind of been the market on live selling. Although I sold a Chrome rookie the other night for 6, which is extremely low for what I've been selling them for recently. So I never know. I think that was a Sunday night actually on the Cal Raleigh sale. So it's you never know. Like Brock Bowers, kind of that's another one of my, that might have been the same night as that Cal Raleigh sale. $26 for a score rookie Brock Bowers. It's basically a dollar box card. And, that's something that I hope in a live setting it sells for $3. And then I build stuff around it. And, it's kind of like $2 to $3 is kind of where I want my floor to be on some of this stuff, with the knowledge that, yes, some of this might only sell for $1. And some of the stuff I buy to put into lots, and it just depends. Lots are, I don't know. I mean, sometimes if I sell a 10 card lot, it takes me longer to set it up and to sell. And if it only sells for $4 and it takes me 2 minutes to set up and run, I can run 4 singles and in the same amount of time. And if one of them sells for $2 and the rest sell for $1, I just made more money than that lot. So I've got to, it's kind of like I've got to test the water sometimes. And it's like, okay, if this 10 card lot only sold for $4, I know I could sell most of these cards for $1 each. They'd get at least one bid. So let's just do it that way. So, but yeah, last night was a little rough. It started out rough. It finished a little better. It got to the halfway point and it's like, this is brutal. And not the brutal part of things not selling for a little higher, but mainly because if something gets a second bid, it's going 10 seconds. And then all of a sudden there's an extended bid. We get another 5 or 10 seconds. And for a $2 sale. And, that's initially why I started doing sudden death auctions. It's like, all right, I don't want to spend 20. I want speed. Like if something's going to sell for $2, I want to sell it for $2 in 5 to 10 seconds, not 20 to 30 seconds. So we got to 100 and like everything was selling for the most part. I had a few good sales. It started out with a bang. I'm like, okay, tonight's going to be a good night. Cause like an Ohtani sold for like $10. A Kevin McGonigal first Chrome Mojo sold for 13. So the first few auctions, man, it was like, I was doing well. And then all of a sudden it's just like the air was let out. And I got halfway through it and it's like, you know what, for everything's going for like $2. So I'm like, we're just going to do sudden death. I did, I think 7 seconds sudden death. And then we got some action. And then we were starting to get some action and it was moving a lot quicker. So, I think maybe in times like that, it's like, you know what, if I'm selling these $2 to $3 cards, there's no need to do 10 seconds with extended bidding. Let's just move them. And that's just that's just kind of the name of the game. So, did that and things actually started to sell a little better and quicker. So those are two of the most important things: sell for higher, faster, higher. So tonight's wrestling night. I don't expect it's Thursday night. I don't typically have good results on Thursday nights, but that's why I'm trying a theme night, and we'll see what a theme night brings, especially wrestling, because there's not a big wrestling presence on eBay Live. However, there's also a very niche market for wrestling cards. And on top of that, it's even smaller in the live setting. So I don't expect big results. It's not going to be big cards. Again, this is my livelihood. I can't buy a $100 card to sell it for $60 on eBay Live. Yes, I like giving deals out, but I can't give too many deals away. So it is a business. So you're going to find a lot of low end stuff, and we're going to debut the ring. 7 o'clock, link in the description, wrestling night on eBay Live. We'll see how it goes. Let's see. I'm going to do 200. I might do sudden death tonight just because it's Thursday. So maybe I'll do 250, maybe 300 auctions tonight on wrestling. I've got plenty. How many boxes? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 6 2-row boxes and 3 3-row boxes of wrestling cards, plus some other random stacks that I had already had. So I've got a lot of, and I probably still have a few more Miz autographs. Man, there was a ton of Miz autographs in this collection I bought. So wrestling night tonight, 7 p.m. Central. I'm not expecting crazy results. Those, I guess, are saved for the weekend. Weekends are crazy. But yeah, in all, it was a good night. I didn't sell too much of my much of the stuff I picked up from the card shop just because it was selling for so low. I wasn't making the margins that I see on the weekends. So I dipped in. It's like, all right, I'm just going to grab a pile of, basically my quarter box stuff. And then that stuff was moving. So, and then I'd sprinkle in. We did a progressive at the end. It went for like $55, $56, I think was the total sale on it. I started with a Jeter slab. I threw in, there was some decent stuff in it. There was a patch, an autograph. I threw in an 89 Pro set unopened pack. So it was some good stuff. I think for $56, it was a great deal. There's been some progressives that are absolute steals. There are some progressives that it's a steal on the other. It's like, ooh, I don't know if that was worth what you paid for it. So, but that's the name of the game in any sales, not just live sales. That's the name of the game. So all in all, last night, even though it was kind of a downer, it did better than what I would have expected in April. Like if you would have told me back in April, like you're going to on a Wednesday night, this is what you're going to make. And I'm like, wow, in 2 hours, I'm going to make that much in 2 hours. And then last night I go upstairs and it's like, yeah, it was brutal. It was rough. And like how quickly your opinions can change in the live selling game. So we're going to run it back to night 7. I actually did something that I haven't done very often, and that's schedule out. So tonight we're going live at 7 for wrestling night. I may do a pop-up show Friday. It just kind of depends on how much shipping I should be able to finish all my shipping today. Today's Thursday, doing a live tonight. So should do well on the shipping aspect. So I'll probably end up doing a pop-up show, like a quick 150 auction, 5-second sudden death sale Friday afternoon. Saturday, I'm going to do a live at 7. I think I am going to do the double dip of the card shop on Saturday. Go down to Milton in the morning and then go up to Fort Atkinson to Dude's Card Shop on Saturday afternoon. And then Sunday night singles, 7 p.m. Sunday night. So that's kind of the plan. And I do have those. I have everything scheduled out with the exception of a potential Friday afternoon pop-up sale, which Friday I've had success even on pop-up sales on a Friday afternoon. It's Monday through Thursday are brutal. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday are just, it's sometimes epic. So that's the fun thing about learning as we go. It's like, well, I'm not going to list a $50 slab. I go to the card shop and spend $50 on this slab. I'm not going to run that on a Wednesday night or a Monday afternoon or a Thursday night. I'm going to save that for the weekend. But some of this, if you want wrestling like Ultimate Warrior, like $2, like hell yeah, I'll take $2 all day for a base Ultimate Warrior card. So we sprinkle those in. Well, that might not sell tonight on, in a niche specific. That's another thing where if you do wrestling only, you're not going to attract the other people. Like they may come check it out, but they're not going to stick around probably. They're like in for wrestling. So it's going to be a smaller audience, most definitely. But sometimes you get non-wrestling collectors that are like, oh, I like wrestling. I want Ultimate Warrior. And it only takes a second person to say the same thing. And all of a sudden you've got a small bidding war, and that might go for $3 or $4, which a couple things did last night. Let's go say hello to the chat. Orlando, what's going on? Good morning. Jordan's in the house. Good morning. Orlando says, big game tonight for sure. We got game 4, Cubs, Brewers, Wrigley Field. Gem City says, good morning, friends. Jordan, Victor and company. Tracy's in the house. Good morning. Says, miss getting to catch this live most days. Yeah, and I sleep in most days now too. So did I go to bed early last night? I went to bed semi-early last night. I've been in I ended the live went pretty fast last night because I ended up doing the sudden death. So I think I was done by 9:30. But stayed up a little bit. And then Ernie does the same thing that Biscuit did. He'll ring the bell. So he's bell trained. So when he has to go outside to go potty, he rings the bell. Or if he just wants to go outside and sniff, he rings the bell. But he's pretty good. He's pretty disciplined with it. He'll ring it like on the weekends. He'll ring it a lot because he's bored. And then he'll also ring it at night when he wants to go to bed, because we take him outside to go potty before we go to bed. And when it's late, he wants to go to bed. So he did that last night. I took him out and we were out for a while. And I'm like, well, do you have to poop? Didn't have to poop. He peed. We come back inside and then like 5 minutes later, he's ringing the bell. And my wife's like, I think he's tired and wants to go to bed. And all of a sudden he starts walking to the bedroom. And it's like, yep. So I'm like, I had to brush my teeth still. So I went down, brushed my teeth, come back up. And he's just laying underneath the recliner where my wife's sitting. And I'm like, all right, buddy, let's go to bed. And he just stayed. He was content at that point. He's like, okay, I know it's almost bedtime. I'll just hang out here. All right. Gem City says, get it to game 5 and all bets are off. Hell yeah. Let's do it. David, good morning. Orlando says, throw away all those empty boxes. Yes. So and I mentioned this yesterday. That's one of my weaknesses is that's my toxic trait is hanging on to boxes. And I need to get rid of old boxes. So yes, I need to do that. Do it. Stop saying it. Gem City says pumpkin patch day for my 5-year-old about to chaperone. Catch you all later. Cheers. Have fun. Jordan says later. Boston Smokes in the house. Good morning. Dat Dude says, what's up? Speaking of scheduling conflicts in October, I had tickets to Roger Waters doing The Wall at MSG and missed Roy Halladay's playoff no. Oh, man. Oh. But that would have been cool to see Roger Waters doing you did see Roger Waters. Was it good? Like, if you would have went to that playoff game, yeah, that you probably would have rather been the playoff game. Unicorn says, was it worth it? No Gilmore. Found Treasures is in the house. Dat Dude says, it was a great show, but so was the game. I may have been a jinx if I watched. See, there you go. Dat Dude says, yes, I am superstitious. Jordan says, can you adjust the bid timer after first bid to 5 seconds or less? No. So once an auction is live, you cannot change the timer that I'm aware of. I don't think so. I don't think so. You can change it before an auction starts, but I don't think you can change it once. You can't edit it. So I think it's like it's a complete edit button. It's not like you can't just edit the timer. You have to go into edit. And I don't think, I wonder if I can, well, I'm not running one now. So yeah, I don't know. Orlando says too much going on last night with all the baseball games. Bargain Boxer says Cubs win. And I had last night, I had a decent amount. Like I think my average viewer was average for a weekday night, for a Wednesday night. So I had people in the room. I just didn't have, maybe I didn't have the inventory people that were in the room we're looking for. I don't know, but it wasn't like traffic was down. I didn't really hit that 8:20 lull where at 8:20, all of a sudden there's nobody in the room. It's down to like 8 people in the room. I was consistently at like 30, which is solid for a Wednesday night. So yeah, I just think I just didn't have what people were looking for. Cubs win. Orlando says theme nights are a great idea. Wish you well. Thank you. Red Light, good morning. 608 Cody, good morning. He says time to just. Max says progressives board wiping your inventory at the end is great. Just pay attention to overall sales number after that. Got to remember a lot of it was leftovers. That's very true. And that's what I need to focus on. Because and that's the great thing about live selling. If just paid X amount for these cards, and if they're only selling for the same amount and I'm breaking even on these, let's pivot. Yeah, let's sprinkle a few, and that's the idea. Like, I know when I'm buying this type of inventory, any inventory, I know that I'm not going to make a profit on every single purchase I make. That's the goal, but I know it's not going to happen. That's just not going to be the case. When you're selling thousands of items a week, that's just not going to happen. And yes, the overall number is definitely, and this is a great reminder, because a lot of what I was selling last night was just junk, like junk. Like last weekend, I didn't have any new fresh inventory, and I made really good sales on Saturday, Sunday with junk, like diamond quarter box stuff. Like, literally some of the cards I was selling for $10 over the weekend, I had pulled out of my 10-cent box from the last show I did. So, and that's last night I was pulling a lot of just extra stuff that it's like, if I wasn't selling on live, this would be a quarter box card. So that is a great point. Tiger727 says, hello, everyone. Hope everyone is well. We are. How about them Tigers? Tigers were selling hot last night. Lions were not. Tigers were selling well. McGonagall, man. That was, I think, my best single sale. What else did Schwarber, because I listed, this is another great thing about live selling. Schwarber hits a bomb last night, and I've got a nice full box of Schwarber cards, and I'm selling like base Topps cards for $6 of Kyle Schwarber right after he hit the home run. Like, boom, Schwarber, let's go. I'm keeping that Schwarber box until the did the Phillies lose last night? Because I think I didn't see the scores. Shit, they might be done. Postseason. All right, so it's 2-1. So the Phillies must have won last night. So yeah, today we have 5 o'clock for Dodgers Phillies and 8 o'clock for Cubs Brewers. Friday's game 5 for Tigers Mariners. So I need to get so if I do a pop-up sale, I gotta get those Cal Raleigh and Mariners and who? Tigers. Get those Javi Baez cards, Riley Green. Cody says time to list some Javi. There you go. L1C, what's going on? Debuting the ring deserves a Hulkster costume. Full commit. That would be fun. I wonder, let's look on eBay. There's got to be like old school 80s. Like, remember those plastic? I've got sold listings. So 6-piece Hulk Hogan wrestler costume kit. It's got a feather boa, glasses, mustache, looks like wrist pads, and a do-rag. Oh, and this one has the Hulkamania tank top. Some of the same stuff. Oh, here's a Hulkamania adult costume. Oh, that's sweet. Is that Ernie? Do I hear Ernie? Hey, buddy. You want to say hi? Where'd you go? Ernie. Come here, buddy. Oh, come here. Come say hi. He's shy, I guess. All right. Now I want to go down a rabbit hole. All right. Let's indulge me for a moment. What time is it? 9:18. We got some time before we take Ernie to school. Well, I could take him now, but all right. So let's so this is what I was looking at. So let's see if there's any. So we had a dime store. It was like a Ben Franklin craft. But then it became like just a local. I think it was a Ben Franklin craft, but then Ben Franklin took their like thing away, or they might have went bankrupt. I don't know. But anyway, they had a lot of stuff. It was almost like, it was basically like, imagine a Ben Franklin from like 1979. Okay. 1979 Ben Franklin, and fast forward like 15 years into the early 90s. that Ben Franklin, like they sold nothing out of that store. And it's still stuff from 1979. So they had Welcome Back Kotter. I want to see a Welcome Back Kotter costume. Like, I mean, there it is. This is what it was. I still got sold listings. So I remember my friend Luke and I would buy this stuff. We would, because we pissed away our money, because that's what we did as kids. I think this was the one, Mr. Kotter. So yeah, and it says flame retarded. So we thought that was funny. So they were selling these in our Ben Franklin, in our local dime store. We call it the dime store. I don't even know if it was a Ben Franklin. It was a Ben Franklin at one time. I think it was like the IGA. It stopped being an IGA like 15 years prior, but it still had the IGA sign out front. So $150 for this Mr. Kotter costume. And I think I bought it for $1.50. Of course, this was like 1991. But this is what it was. How cool is that? Yeah, this is exactly what they were selling these in our local Anawan dime store. Wow. It was the hard like paper cuts in your face, cheap rubber band. Oh my God. Kotter sweat hogs. So yeah, so I had this costume. I bought at our local like Ben Franklin. That's amazing. Wow, that's a trip down memory lane. All right, where are we at? Jordan says, Max, how you doing today? Unicorn says, are you in Wisconsin to Tiger 727? Max is great, tired but good, prepping for Chicago. Collecticon this weekend. Jody's in the house. Good morning. Bargain Boxer says, let's go Cubs. Here we go. Game 4, baby. Sunflower's in the house. I was hoping you would change it back from sudden death to the regular auction to signal the audience that you were listing a slightly better card in the last 25 to 50 auctions. Ooh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Bargain Boxer says $2 for a base card. Yikes. Just imagine when they sell for 20. Cal Raleigh base Bowman rookie, $72 sale. Paid, delivered, positive feedback left. Imagine that. But then there's stuff that you spend $1 on that sells for $1. Jordan says, have you tried to sell your higher end cards by having them in the background as you run? I have not. And it's because I suck at camera angles. Like I cannot film shit to save my life. I need to have like a professional come in and be like, oh, you're doing this way wrong. So no, I've thought about doing that. But I just haven't been able to figure the camera angles out. Unicorn says, that is a nice suggestion. Kind of, they're not for sale now, but you could make me an offer type stuff. Yeah, I've seen other channels do that, which is kind of cool. And, you know, usually it's like a lot of low balls, like $150 on this, whatever. It's like, I'll give you 50. It's like, no. Bargain Boxer says, speaking of yikes, I saw Carrie bought one fat pack of Prism basketball for $65. 12 cards for $65. I guess that's how Fanatics is 10xing the hobby. Was it a new pack or was it an older pack? Sunflower says, sudden death sent a message. I'm just trying to get this over with. That's the message I was trying to portray as well. Because I'm done. I'm tired. I don't know if I'm getting a cold, but I had like my head was getting stuffed up. I was sneezing. And I was just done. I was just done at that point. So that was the signal I was trying to send, which isn't good for sales, but it is what it is. If I can sell stuff for $1, let's get it the hell out of here. Tiger says, go Tigers. Hopefully the offense continues like they had in the later innings. Jordan says, bargain boxer. I mean, that's Panini, though. That is true. That is Panini. Panini's trying to 10x the hobby. Schwarber hit 2 for the right. Oh, he did. Very nice. Found Treasure says they won. Max says, we brought mom home last night. Excellent. Monitoring meds, but everything is good. Currently still a little apprehensive about Chicago, but Doc said everything was fine when we left. Good deal. Max Unicorn says, that's great. If you have someone you can count on in the area, you are still pretty close if need be. Max says, we do. Basically, all family is here, but I'm a control freak, so it will still be tough. Dad comes with to help, and he needs a break too. Oh, yeah. Unicorn says, just wondering, have you asked your wife how she would handle your cards if you died suddenly, like in an e-bike accident? Well, I would have to ride the e-bike to get into an e-bike accident. She'd probably just sell them to, like, here's the cards. Just give me what you want to pay. Jordan says, Carry pack was Panini Prism Black Pack. The pack Carry opened was $1 return on investment. So yeah, so I was at the card shop yesterday, Bonsai Cards and Collectibles in DeForest, and I'm shocked by like what walks into the shop, and I'm shocked at a Wednesday afternoon. Like I went in at noon, 12:30, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock on a Wednesday afternoon. That place is, I wouldn't say it's packed, but it's got steady traffic throughout. Like I don't think there was a time. I'm trying to think of how many like customers were in there at a time. Probably on average, 5 customers consistently on a Wednesday during the day. Now, little context, they are closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. So this is the first day they're open since Sunday. But still, during a day in October, school, work, like there's a steady stream of people coming through the doors. I'm also shocked at how many people bring in stuff. Like some of the stuff really cool. Some of the stuff is just absolute junk. Like, so something over the weekend that he bought were uncut sheets of like refractor, like autograph, like they were supposed to be autographed. Well, they were probably like backup sheets because they were not numbered. So it could have been like a promo sheet. It wasn't like the act, because one of them was a superfractor sheet. I think it was 2014 Topps Chrome. So that's pretty dang cool. But it's also, it's like, I don't know. I'm not a big sheet fan, although there was a sheet of that I would be, I'm not going to pay what it's probably worth. But it's a 2015 Bowman Chrome blue refractor autograph sheet. Obviously, it's unsigned because it's still a sheet. But in the top left corner, because there was something with the Chris, I can't remember the story behind it, but the prior year's Chris Bryant was not, they didn't get it back or something. So they included the Chris Bryants in the next year's sets. And that's on the sheet. And so is his Topps Finest Rookie, which I think was a short print. So that was pretty cool. And then there were like 1 or 2 other sheets. So that's like a cool, unique item. And then like then a guy walked in with like a tub of, I just looked over and I saw the 800 count boxes and I knew exactly what was in there. And then I saw the 1990 Score baseball set, which is a decent set. But it's like there's 2 cards in that set that will sell individually for more than what the whole set is worth, basically. You sell the whole set, like nobody wants the whole set. They want the Bo Jackson and the Frank Thomas. The rest is just throw it away. So I think they just so one of the guys who was just kind of helps out and helps with like customers that bring stuff like that. And he's like, yeah, this is not something that we would be interested in. And he's like, you're probably going to get like $20 for it. He had some comic books. He's like, we don't do comic books. So you'll have to find, somebody that does comic books. And the guy working at the shop said basically what I tell people when they bring in like a binder or a box of cards. It's like, you got like $5 worth of cards here. Like I'm not interested. But you're going to probably get $5 for this. If you have kid, grandkid, niece, nephew, cousin, neighbor, just give it to them. Cause that's, and the guy's like, maybe we'll give it to I don't know if it was a son or whatever relative, but we'll give it to him for Christmas. And I'm like, I don't know if he's not gonna like that for Christmas. Don't give him that junk for Christmas. That should be a punishment. You didn't do your chores. Here, sort these 90 score. So what else was it? There was they were actually working like throughout the afternoon on a 5-figure Pokemon collection. He had the guy that brought in had binders and wax, and it was well into 5 figures, that deal. So they were like comping all the cards and just that's crazy. So that to me, like, it's cool to see some of the stuff walk in, but like in like whenever I'm in a card shop and I hear the phone ring and I hear the person at the card shop answer and they're like, yeah, we wouldn't have any interest in that. Yeah, really 80s and 90s. Like, how many calls does a card shop get about, I want to sell my 80s and 90s cards? So that would, my patience would wear thin very quickly with some of that stuff. But there's some really cool stuff that does walk in through the doors. But I was shocked at the foot traffic on a Wednesday afternoon in a card shop, which is awesome. It's a great shop, Bonsai in DeForest. Let's see. Bargain Boxer says, I'm not shocked. It's because nobody works anymore. That's true. There are a lot of people on eBay Live buying cards at 1 o'clock on a Wednesday afternoon. Unicorn says, where is this? Near Madison or south? It's near It's actually north of Madison. It's DeForest. So I don't know if you're familiar with Sun Prairie. It's basically Sun Prairie. It's right. It's DeForest is a town next to Sun Prairie. So it would be northeast of Madison. I would consider it a suburb of Madison. DeForest, Wisconsin. Right on the interstate. Right on the I-94. Is that what it is? I-94. Dat Dude says, dealers come across crazy things that most people never see, rare test issues, promos, etc. Yeah, that would be the cool thing about, the 1 out of 1,000 items is really cool. And then the other 999 are the 89 score. Unicorn says, I tried to get a lead from a coworker who has worked at this place for 40 years about baseball cards. I advised him mid-80s to mid-90s don't have much value. He said that is probably what he had. So sad. Yeah. Whenever, I go home and, there's always at least one and usually 10 conversations about, oh, I've got some old baseball cards. And I'm like, yeah, old is subjective. Like, do you mean old as in 30 years old, 40 years old? Because if they're my age, like, well, you're my age. I got cards from when I was a kid. Well, you're about my age. When we were kids, cards aren't worth anything. So, but you never know. You never know what somebody might have. And that's, you can't, and that's another thing. You can't judge somebody by their, well, you're my age. Kind of like my grandpa has all these cards. Well, also now we're getting to the age of, grandpas are in their 50s and 60s. Guess when they were collecting. And even some grandpas that might be older, they were adults in the late 80s and early 90s, and they thought buying all these unopened boxes, they were going to keep them sealed in a closet and pay for their kids' college in 10 or 20 years. And that didn't happen. So if somebody says their grandpa has a bunch of old stuff, like, be leery, because grandpas are getting younger. We're getting older. Grandpas are getting younger. Hell, my nephew is a grandpa, and he's 39. Although let's see, if he was collecting cards, I don't think he was a card collector. I'm trying to think when he was born. So like when he was a kid, like he would have been like in the mid to late 90s. Like if he was into basketball, he could have had some cool basketball cards from the mid to late 90s. Where are we at? Dat Dude says the difficult part is how to move them and get value because they are so rare. That's very true, because it is so rare and so niche. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to find a buyer. Like, yeah, it's worth X, but you got to find a buyer, not only to pay X, but a buyer that's actually interested. That's kind of like the uncut sheets. It's like, it's a cool piece, but am I going to pay thousands of dollars for an uncut sheet. Like, it's like, yeah, is it rare? It's a cool talking piece, but yeah, it does nothing for me. Like, somebody asked, like, what do you think that superfractor sheet was worth? And the price that he quoted, I'm like, really? But I mean, I don't know. That's not my wheelhouse, but it's like, I would not pay 10%. I would not pay 5% of that number that was quoted. Because it does nothing for me. But there's a lot of things that I would pay 10x because it means more to me. And it would, like, oh yeah, I would have that. And it wouldn't be that price either. What's up, Peter? Good morning. All right, I'm going to get going. I've got some shipping to do. It is wrestling night on eBay Live tonight, 7 Central. We're going to debut the wrestling ring this evening. So come on out, 7 p.m. Central on eBay Live, wrestling cards. I'll start off with I'm going to have WrestleMania 8 going on in the background until 8:08. So the first hour we'll have WrestleMania 8. Then I got to turn the Cubs game on. So tonight, 7 Central, I'm going to run 200. We'll see. I might do sudden death tonight. Definitely to start, because it seems like the first hour is usually pretty slow. So we may adjust on the fly. We'll see. But I might start off with some sudden death. Might start off with extended bidding just to get things going. I don't know, kind of like what Sunflower was saying, because the sudden death does kind of cheapen. And that's kind of what sudden death is, just to blow out stuff. But a lot of what I have is stuff I want to blow out. So Cody says, how much would your seats from the other night cost you in Chicago? Let's see. Now, if I had the same seats and I bought them from the website, the same amount. I think the prices were the same amount. StubHub. Let's go StubHub. Let's see if there's any tickets. Cubs. Thursday. Let's just do one ticket. Oh, there's not any available. Oh, yeah. Oh. They'd be... So there's nothing in the section. So in a nearby section, row 13. So I was in row 18. Row 13, $1,000. I paid $300 at Miller at Milwaukee. But also, that $1,000 is on StubHub, not on the Ballpark app. I wonder if there's anything, because sometimes they open up seats. So there's probably going to be a few seats open because the Yankees lost. So, and Jonathan Diaz, who I sat next to at Milwaukee, he was a Yankee scout, and he's done. Once the Yankees lost, he's no longer scouting, obviously. Best seats. So yeah, right now they haven't opened up any additional seats. Still standing room only on the Ballpark app. Let's see. Dat Dude says, sold uncut sheets for high premiums to a California buyer, but that was a few years ago. There was a cool uncut sheet that I wish I would have bought, but I just didn't have. First of all, I didn't have a big card budget. This was 2019. It was at the National. And I didn't see it until Sunday when I pissed away all my money. So it was an uncut sheet of the 2010 Bowman Aflac cards, the high school All-America cards. And, of course, Javi Baez was on there. I think Manny Machado. Who else? There's a lot of big names that were in that set. That was a really cool piece. $500. And I think that might have even been like, I think they autographed, like they had the sheet at the game, I think. And I think the sheet was autographed. I can't remember. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. Maybe I'm misremembering, but it was $500. Now this was 2019. Markets changed significantly since 2019. And it's always one of those that's the one that got away. That would have been a cool piece to have. That probably would be the only uncut. I mean, there's probably other uncut sheets that would be cool to have, but Yeah, uncut sheets. I have uncut sheets of minor league, Cubs minor league. I have like 20 uncut sheets of Iowa Cubs and Peoria Chiefs sets. The Peoria Chiefs, I was able to move some of them for like $40, $30-$40 each. I paid $1 for them at a small auction house because they had Ryan Sandberg on them. I think I kept one back. That dude says too early to hit StubHub for deals, hour or less before first pitch. They dropped, went to game 2 in Philly for 200. Oh yeah, I'm not looking for seats to go to the game. I'm just looking to see what pricing is right now. Because I am not going today or Saturday. So the only other game I'll get to this year is if the Cubs advance to the NLCS. I haven't even looked at the NLCS. I don't want to look ahead. Old coach speak. Not looking ahead. But if you go to Ballpark, little tip, if you go to Ballpark, they do open up seats, face value. And that's how I got the seats on Monday night and got those a day ahead. NLCS game 1, it would be Monday. Game 2, Tuesday. So Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, game 3, Friday, game 4, Saturday, game 5. Wow. Monday, game 6, Tuesday, game 7, if necessary. So, yeah. So if I do go to another Cubs game, it's going to be either the NLCS or spring training 2026. All right. I'm going to go. Have a great day. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. eBay Live tonight, 7 Central. Wrestling night. Good morning, Uncle Rich. Thank you, sir. 7 p.m. Central tonight for eBay Live Wrestling night. Hope to see you then. Javi Baez did well last night. I didn't sell any Javi Baez, but Schwarber, a couple home runs from Schwarber. Schwarber was moving. All right. Like and subscribe. Have a great day. We'll see you tonight on eBay Live.